Here we have a game against the Kingmaster chess computer on level 72, which is the second hardest level. I'm white this time. We start out here with the king pawn opening. Black responds with c6, which I don't like that response to e4. Never have, and you'll see why here. You see already I've got my two center pawns right up there controlling the center. So black's already at a disadvantage, and now he's got to basically fight back to gain control, or to at least to even out the balance of power in the center. So he responds with d5, and this is the Caro-Kann defense. And what I do here is initiate the exchange variation. And now you can see things are about equal. There's symmetry on the board now. Both black and white have an equal control of the center. Now at this point, this is not the typical variation, but I wanted to continue with developing my pieces. Now I'm putting black in check with my bishop here, and now he's going to have to respond and obviously block that check somehow, which he does with his knight. Now this is good because now I have his knight pinned, so now I can continue development and I don't have to worry about his knight doing anything just yet because it can't move. So I continue bringing my knight out. Now I'm preparing to castle. He follows up with e6, which I also think is a weak move because his d-pawn was not immediately threatened, and he's leaving my next move wide open, which is to go ahead and put that knight there on e5. Now, I have kind of violated an opening principle, which is moving the same piece twice. However, knight to e5, as we've seen on a number of my other games, is always resulted in a distinct advantage for me. So definitely going to put my knight there for now. And you can also see now I have a double threat here on black's c knight. So keep going. Now he brings his other knight out. This is good for black because now he's reinforcing his c knight, and he's continuing with development and freeing up his back rank here. Now at this point I don't necessarily have a strategy. I'm just trying to get my pieces up towards the center of the board to continue development and just hope that good things come out of that. Now black wants to get rid of my bishop there, so he either wants me to retreat or to go ahead and initiate that exchange with the knight, which I want to do, because if I start to retreat and move my bishop back, I'm gonna lose a tempo and black's gonna gain it. I'm not gonna let that happen. So I liked having that knight pinned, but I had to give it up, so I just took it. And now see, but we just kind of exchange away the knights. He captures back with his pawn. I now castle. So we kind of look at the board right now. It's hard to say who has the advantage. You know, now my king's secure. That's great. I do have you know, my d pawn here, so I've got a piece of the center along with my bishop. He's got some of his pawns out. He's got pretty good center control as well, although his king is a couple moves away from castling. So a little bit of an advantage there for white, I think. He's moving his bishop up, mainly just to free up the back rank so that he can castle. I would have liked to have maybe seen the bishop brought up to maybe, you know, d6, possibly initiate an exchange here. But that's where he chose to move it. It's a conservative move for black. I bring my my knight up here to c3, and this is just for development purposes. There's really no strategic move here yet. Black now castles. Now this move, I'll admit I did not intentionally do this move, moving my b pawn up to here to b4, because I failed to see this move. I just wasn't paying attention, which is bishop takes b4. Now, the reason I wanted that that b pawn up there was because I knew that I can move my rook or my queen over here onto the b file, and I figured that I could make something happen with that. For whatever reason, I just wasn't paying attention and didn't see that he could take that b pawn. So that kind of created a bad situation for me, because now I'm down a pawn, now my knight's threatened, and I'm going to have to make some very strategic moves here to compensate for that. So all I can do here is move my knight out of the way. Yeah, I move it to the edge of the board. What's nice too is that since I'd castled, that knight wasn't pinned, and the bishop really has no path to any of my pieces. So as long as I keep my pieces off the dark squares, I should be okay for now. And then black moves his queen up there to a5, and now he's threatening my knight. Now this is kind of a neat little situation here, because look what happens. Move my c-pawn up. Now I'm threatening this bishop. Now that my c-pawn's out of the way, my queen is now protecting my knight. So now he can't take my knight with his queen. In addition, his bishop, well, it can take the c-pawn, but it's going to be recaptured with my knight. So you'll see what happens here.